we found some evidence. It's 1993, and the first one was Antonov 124. Not this one we're standing on, was not even in existence, but 1993 from Luanda, Angola, flying to Entebbe. And it was a humanitarian mission, UN related.
My first ever humanitarian charter with you guys was a UK to the Maldives, with boats for the rescue effort for the tsunami. So that was for the UK government.
I remember flights right after Hurricane Irma in the US. I was also with ACS, a bunch of flights there. Just recovery flights. I think it was...
Yeah, I did a few.
You moved to hospital,
I did, yeah. I moved from Amsterdam into...
Mobile, yeah.
Mobile, yeah. So that was horrific, because what we were transporting was huge tents to be makeshift morgues, because they thought the body count was going to go really high. So it was these tents that we were moving. Luckily, it wasn't quite as bad as they thought it was going to be. So
I think most hurricanes, we've probably operated a flight over, with Volga Dnepr.
Well, normally you guys have... So even with the Aleutians, probably one of the first ones, because of the handling capability of just, you never know what you're going to get when you land somewhere.
There, yeah.
So we know that we can offload one of these, and you can offload an Aleutian.
When Haiti, Port-au-Prince, because people were blocking the runway and everything, weren't they? But the Aleutians could get in there, whereas anything with pallets was a no-go.
Yeah, with this one, and then the IL-76, pretty self-sufficient, even if you have to move on the runway, onboard crane system.
Yeah, they really are the first call for humanitarian, I would say.
Back in the late 90s, it was not that much technologically advanced, which is the case now. Everything is customized, but some of the regional aerospace companies, those players, they were even our customers back in the early mid-90s already. All those aerospace companies, when they think in terms of designing their spaceships or containers, they actually use the cross-section. They keep the cross-section of the Antonov 124 in mind to figure their design out, just how it needs to work later. So right now it's very technological, it's very advanced. As far as this airplane, the requirements are pretty strict. They want to monitor temperature, they want to monitor these days humidity level. They want us to control the pressure. This airplane can be fully pressurized too. So it's very technologically advanced. However, the basic things we started talking about, the humanitarian missions, they still apply now, because what we did together in the last couple of years, with Antonovs, with 747, so we kind of went back to basics, but it paid back. Because again, we're talking the best airplane, the best setup for everything to bring as much life-saving stuff as possible.
Will these be flying for another 30 years?
Actually, we are looking into it, and right now estimating the actual lifespan is as good as 2032. It'll be interesting to see who goes out first. 747-400s, strangely enough.
Yeah.
Or Antonov 124s. We're trying to spare the lifespan, as you know. And technically speaking, it's not that much advisable for us. Especially every time we have a 747 available, to use this airplane with all the technology and everything to fly any general cargo, rather keeping it for something more demanding and challenging. But the market is the market. The humanitarian stuff, and the sticker speaks for itself. It's important when you need to bring something quickly enough to save people's lives. So what do you think, guys? It still applies to this day, 21st century.
If you look to the future, there's not aircraft like this being built anymore, but there's always going to be that need, certainly humanitarian, as Dan said, in airports where they've got no infrastructure, or the infrastructure's been damaged. These are the first responders, aren't they, these type of aircraft?
You celebrated 30 years. We have been celebrating 30 years for over a year right now. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. We were just developing in parallel. And the last 2 years was a huge test for all of us, just to stay together, to manage it all remotely. Let us not forget about those frontliners. I mean, they kept doing this great job in China, in the US, elsewhere in the world. I mean, they're just taking care of business. Back in the day, no vaccination. There's huge exposure to all sorts of risks. And again, hats off to all those people. They all made it happen.